Stop wasting your money on bloom booster fertilizers. If your tomato plants are covered in flowers, but failing to set a single piece of fruit, you aren't dealing with a nutrient shortage. You are dealing with a timing disaster. Most gardeners dump heavy fertilizer into the soil the moment they see a flower, thinking it's a productivity hack. In reality, you are likely causing the very problem you're trying to prevent. Today, I'm giving you a 10-point June fertilization schedule that ensures your tomatoes stop producing empty blooms. We're covering everything from the pinky diagnostic to stop nitrogen overload, the truth about miracle Epsom salts, and the boron delivery truck that locks fruit onto the stem. Stick around, because the vinegar calcium trick at the very end is going to change how you see kitchen scraps forever. Look at your tomato stems. If they are thicker than your thumb, you have a lazy bodybuilder plant that is too focused on vanity to have babies. It's like a gym goer who only trains their ego. All show, no go. Nitrogen is for the start of the season. Phosphorus is for the show. If you keep feeding it nitrogen now, you're telling it to ignore fruit production and keep growing leaves. I once knew a gardener who had 7-foot-tall green monsters that never produced a single red tomato. He kept feeding them nitrogen, thinking bigger is better. Don't be that gardener. Excess nitrogen doesn't just create more leaves. It changes the entire behavior of the plant. The roots become lazy. Instead of driving deeper into the soil, searching for moisture and minerals, they remain close to the surface, where food is easy to access. The result is a plant that looks impressive in June, but struggles when summer heat arrives. That stem thickness is a major warning, but it's nothing compared to the hidden barrier most people are building in their soil right now. And that's the #1 cause of blossom rot. In June, nitrogen becomes a double-edged sword. Most gardeners dump heavy fertilizer the moment they see flowers. In reality, they are often causing the very problem they're trying to prevent. Your premium store-bought fertilizer might actually be the reason your plant is aborting flowers. The real issue is balance. During this stage, your tomato is trying to make a decision. Should it continue building stems and leaves, or should it invest energy into reproduction? Excess nitrogen sends the wrong signal. Instead of creating fruit, the plant keeps expanding its green canopy. And when that happens, another hidden problem begins developing inside the flower itself. The moment you see the first yellow blossom, the plant enters a physiological bottleneck. It needs energy, but it cannot process raw synthetic granules fast enough. When temperatures hit 90 degrees, pollen starch levels drop, making flowers sterile, regardless of how many bees are buzzing around. This is one of the least understood causes of blossom drop. As temperatures rise, developing pollen grains struggle to accumulate enough starch reserves. Without those reserves, the pollen becomes weak and incapable of properly germinating. The flower may look perfectly healthy from the outside, but biologically, it has become infertile. That means you can have hundreds of flowers, dozens of pollinators, and still end up with almost no tomatoes. You need a steady, slow-release infusion, not a chemical gut punch. And that brings us to the nutrients that actually matter during this stage. This is where the shift to organic bone meal, or a liquid kelp drench, becomes critical. It must be bioavailable now, not 6 weeks from now. Bone meal provides phosphorus, the nutrient most closely associated with flowering and reproductive growth. Kelp brings something equally important: stress-buffering compounds that help plants cope with heat and environmental pressure. Think of it this way. Nitrogen tells the plant to build itself. Phosphorus tells the plant to reproduce. Potassium tells the plant to improve the quality of what it produces. June is the month when many gardeners accidentally keep feeding the wrong biological instruction. But wait until you hear why the fix most people use for rot is actually making it worse. Blossom end. Rot isn't always a lack of calcium in the soil. It's a water transport issue. In June, when temperatures spike, your tomato plant closes its pores to conserve moisture, and calcium stops moving up the stem. You can have a mountain of calcium sitting in the dirt, and your fruit will still rot. This is where most gardeners get trapped. They start burying eggshells. They crush up antacid tablets. They buy expensive calcium supplements. But calcium isn't the real problem. Movement is. Calcium travels with water. If water flow becomes inconsistent, calcium delivery becomes inconsistent too. Most gardeners are treating the dirt when they should be managing the plant's plumbing. And that misunderstanding leads directly to the next mistake. This is the secret. A foliar spray applied in the cool of the morning. It bypasses the roots entirely and delivers the building blocks directly to the developing fruit set. Foliar feeding doesn't replace healthy soil. It buys you time. Instead of waiting for calcium to move from the root zone through an already stressed plant, you provide support directly where the reproductive structures need it most. But foliar spraying is only part of the equation. Because even when calcium is available, your tomato still needs a way to move it into the flowers before summer heat arrives. And that missing piece is a micronutrient almost nobody talks about: boron. Calcium is a slow-moving element that often becomes trapped in leaves and growing tissues. Boron acts as a biological delivery truck, helping move that calcium toward the flower joints, where fruit production begins. Most people assume a dropped flower simply failed. What actually happened is that the plant formed a weak separation layer near the flower stem. Once that layer develops, the blossom detaches and falls. Boron helps prevent that process by supporting strong cellular connections at those attachment points. In simple terms, it helps create the biological glue that keeps flowers attached long enough to become tomatoes. A single teaspoon of boric acid in 10 liters of water can support fruit set dramatically. But be careful. The safety margin is razor thin. Boron performs even better when paired with zinc, which helps regulate the movement of sugars toward developing fruit. But even that won't save your harvest if you're still following one of the most popular gardening myths on the internet. Whatever you do, don't just dump raw eggshells into your soil. It's like trying to eat a rock. It's not going to provide nutrition anytime soon. Eggshells are primarily calcium carbonate. In their raw form, they break down extremely slowly and can remain in the soil for years before releasing meaningful amounts of calcium. That's why gardeners often add dozens of eggshells and still end up with blossom end rot. They must be roasted and dissolved in vinegar to become water-soluble calcium. If you're doing it the old way, you're just feeding your soil rocks. And while we're exposing garden myths, let's talk about Epsom salts. Unless a soil test confirms a genuine magnesium deficiency, adding Epsom salt can make the problem worse. Magnesium and calcium compete for many of the same uptake pathways inside the plant. The more magnesium you add, the harder it becomes for calcium to gain access. That's why some gardeners unknowingly increase blossom end rot while trying to cure it. Follow this 3-stage schedule for June success. First, during recovery and active growth, use a balanced organic fertilizer, but keep nitrogen under control. Your goal is steady development, not giant green monsters. Second, at first flower, reduce nitrogen and transition toward phosphorus and potassium. This is where bone meal, kelp, and reproductive support nutrients become valuable. Third, during the hottest part of June, implement that morning calcium foliar spray once every 10 days while maintaining consistent watering. Avoid dramatic swings between drought and overwatering. Avoid chasing problems with random products. And avoid the temptation to force growth with extra nitrogen. Your plant is no longer trying to become bigger. It is trying to become productive. Within 7 days of shifting your ratio, you will see the canopy stop stretching and the fruit set begin to tighten. Within the next few weeks, you'll notice more blossoms holding, fewer flowers dropping, and stronger fruit development across the entire plant. If you have been struggling with empty flowers, stop the high nitrogen cycle today. Which tomato variety are you testing this on? Let me know in the comments in 3 words. If you know a fellow gardener losing their harvest to blossom drop, share this video. It might just save their entire summer. You now have the science to fix your harvest. But the real secret to keeping it that way lies in the soil you build underneath. See you there.